the Coach King on a Monday. He joins us once again. Coach King, what's going on, my friend? How you doing?
Good, just in the car, man.
Yeah. How's everything going, man?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I got you. What's up?
All right. Not too much, man. Don't think for 1 second I don't have a rebel rabbit in here.
You got the rabbit. I love it. You got the rabbit. We are, of course. Yeah, I'm going to say we are dealing with here we go. Dealing with some of the stat hackers. Either way, man, I appreciate you taking the time. I see the cut T-shirt as well, by the way. Shout out to those guys. I know you've been doing great work with them. You're just everywhere, man. You're all over the place.
I'm trying. Huh?
I said you're a man of the people, my guy.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. All these rebels and the day chasers and all the cuts. I mean, they're trying to get the NIL going. They're trying to I don't know, find a rebellious kind of guy, and that's me.
That's you, indeed. Steven, again, we're talking here on this Victory Monday. South Carolina punches their ticket to a bowl game, now sitting at 6-3. Obviously, offensively, that's where I want to start. Spencer Rattler with, I would argue, his best day as a Gamecock. Throws 3 touchdowns, no picks. I thought you saw some more creative play calling, but just talk about what you saw from him, because I know – oh, here we go. Did we lose him? Let's see. We're going to try to get Steven Garcia back in here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if we're having technical issues, or Steven did sound like he breathed in some helium or something. I was like, why does he sound a little bit higher pitched than normal? Hold on, we're gonna get him back in here. I don't know what just happened, guys. I'll be totally honest with you. I think Mellon is I think Mellon's having some major issues today. I don't know. Anyways, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. We're gonna get Steven Garcia back in here in just a second. He's obviously on the road. Got a call. Okay. Steven, what's up, man? Yo.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, what's up? There you go. Yeah.
Hey, sorry about that, man. Somebody called me.
No, you're good. So I was asking you about Spencer Rattler. Obviously, I would say his best performance as a Gamecock, taking care of the football, 3 TDs, no picks. I know we've talked a lot about, how good Spencer is on the run, his arm talent, but I thought, honestly, man, watching him with a clean pocket, set his feet, I thought that throw to Xavier Legette down the middle of the field, that deep pass, maybe his best throw of the season. Just overall, what you saw from Spencer Rattler on Saturday night. Obviously, it was a Vandy defense that ranked last in pass defense, but the Gamecocks obviously were able to take advantage of it, and thanks to Spencer Rattler's big night. What you just saw from him overall?
No, that's kind of the Rattler that we were all anticipating seeing throughout the entire year. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it is against the worst passing defense in the SEC. But maybe that's the spark. Maybe that's the spark that we needed to have, or that he personally needed to have. Maybe that's the spark that Coach Satterfield needed to have a little bit more confidence in him. That who knows what's going to happen. And I was just thinking in my head, when was the last time that we had a weekend where we won a game and Clemson lost the game in the same week? It's a hell of a Monday to start off the week, man. I love seeing that.
Yeah, dude, for sure. And they got absolutely rocked in South Bend. It was crazy. Again, you look at the offensive side, Steven. I felt like the play calling was much, much more creative, but also the emphasis on getting the football to the playmakers. You have a week against Mizzou. Jaheim Bell has 0 targets. Literally a week later, he has 19 touches in the ball game. You saw Dak Joyner get involved, Josh Vann with a touchdown catch, Xavier Legette, Antoine Wells with a big day. And this was all without Marshawn Lloyd, by the way. All in all, just what you saw from the play calling, the scheme. Again, I feel like you'd probably agree. The emphasis was definitely just get the ball in the hands of your playmakers and let them work.
100%. And I think that's what the frustration was with not only myself, but every other Carolina alum and fan and everything else, is why the hell have we not been doing that all year? Why have we not been doing that since week 1? That's why all the Fire Satterfield comments are coming out. Just, why have we not been doing that? Why has Dak not been getting the ball in his hand and making plays, throwing it, running it, catching it? There's just so many questions that, people are and fans are asking. And, I'm really hoping that this was a spark that, everybody kind of gets fired up and we finish the rest of the season on a completely different note offensively than we did, the previous 5 games or 6 games.
Yeah. And now you go into this game, because I won't spend too much time, obviously. I feel like, Steven, you kind of did what you were expected to do, or what South Carolina expects to do. 14th straight win over Vanderbilt. Death taxes, and the Gamecocks just owning the Commodores. A very well-balanced attack offensively. You ran the football well also. Jaheim Bell, I thought, like a natural back there at running back. And, now you'll see if you get Marshawn Lloyd back. But I'm sure this one hits home for you this week, because it's Florida week, man. And by the way, I want to make it very clear. Nothing personal, no disrespect to you. The clip I posted this morning, I always posted on Florida Week, the family guy,
Family Guy, yeah.
But I'll ask you, how cool was this week for you? Did it? I mean, I know you mentioned for Coach Spurrier, obviously this one hit different for you being a Florida guy. What was this any different of a game? Was the emotions or the preparation any different, or was it kind of just another nameless faceless opponent?
No, absolutely. Florida, when I was playing, was the number 1 ranked team. They were the Alabama when I was playing. With Tebow and all those other guys. So, especially being from Florida, my uncle played at Florida State, so I've always been a Gator hater, so to speak. So it was always beating. That's everybody else talks about the Alabama game, but beating Florida in the Swamp was definitely my favorite game of all time playing. So yeah, it's a big week. Me personally, I know Coach Spurrier obviously he took it personally as well, but yeah, this is a big week, and yeah, I figured that the Family Guy reference was for the University of Florida people, and I would agree with you on that.
The crayon eaters.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the crayon eaters. Sure. Well, anyway, Gamecocks. I'll ask you this on the Florida side: your thoughts on Anthony Richardson? What do you see from him? Gets a lot of love. A lot of talk as a future NFL guy. You look at the build, you look at the makeup. I think you can definitely see it. But the quarterback battle is really interesting between Spencer Rattler and Anthony Richardson. And on that note as well, when you played Florida, they had the Debo, and they featured some talented signal callers of their own. And I'm sure that was motivating for you, that you kind of felt like, you go into that game, they're talking about the Florida QB, this, that, and it's like you kind of want to show that, like, I'm going to be the best quarterback on the field on Saturday night. But how that plays in this ball game, and your thoughts on Anthony Richardson and his game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the guy's a player. There's no doubt about it. Guy can play. I think it was just lighting it up against A&M. I watched that game and he was just tearing it up. But then there's other games. It's like, what the hell is this guy doing? I don't understand the whole Heisman. I just don't get it. I don't see it. But the guy's a physical specimen. So it's going to be tough to play against him, especially down there in Gainesville. It's a bitch of a place to play at. So I know you guys haven't heard me say that in a few weeks, being in a tough environment. But the Swamp is a tough place to play. And I'm reading some of these comments. I don't know what they're hearing in the background. I don't.
Yeah, dude, it's not you, my guy. It's this melon platform. I think sometimes just has a life of its own. So we blame the Muschamp hackers. We blame at this point probably the Satterfield hackers. Yeah. Alex McGrath has dealt with this too. I don't know, but either way.
Yeah, I noticed he uses these things too. So I don't know if it's that shit either.
I don't know.
First time using them.
But you know what? Like South Carolina football, we persevere, we push through. No big deal.
That's right.
You look at this game, Steven, on Saturday. Again, like you mentioned, you got to go to the Swamp. I think one of the intriguing stats, you look, I think maybe the biggest matchups defensively, and I think South Carolina, they're going to have to score 30+ to win, because you look at Florida, they've been very dynamic offensively. They're 5-0 when they run the ball for 210 or more yards, 0-4 when they don't. South Carolina on the flip side, 6-0 when they get a turnover, 0-3 when they don't, right? But I think this is going to be an offensive game. And so I'll ask you, from the offensive side, I'm sure you want to continue to see the creativity, getting the football in your playmakers' hands, sticking with that. Hopefully you get Marshawn Lloyd back. But you look at Florida defensively, man. They've been pretty below average. Let's call it for what it is. They've been below average all year. So it feels like this is – maybe you found that spark in Nashville, like you mentioned. This is a defense you should be able to have a good bit of success against. And I think it will take another big day from Spencer Rattler to come out of the Swamp with a victory.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. Like I said, I watched the A&M game this past weekend, and yeah, they're. I think we definitely can have our way with them, but again, we have to have the same kind of offensive mindset and strategy that we did against Miami this past Saturday. Got to get the ball in the playmakers' hands. Speaking of Lloyd, does anybody know if he's going to be suited up for the game, or is that still game
Beamer,
time
I
decision?
think they said they're optimistic he will go. It's not 100%. I mean, you never know, right? But I think they're optimistic he will go.
Good. I mean, that's a big help. Anytime you got a guy like that in your backfield, that definitely is quarterback best friend. But I'd like to see a little bit of Beamer ball come out. I think we're going to need some of that to win down there. A blocked punt, a special teams touchdown like we had against A&M. There's several different things. A couple long field goals. You never know. But special teams, I mean, as we've seen all freaking year, a special teams play can change the entire momentum of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, man, to see how South Carolina, again, I think it's going to have to be a game where you score in the 30s. Obviously, Florida early is a 9-point favorite in this one, but we saw how little that mattered last year. The Gators were a 20-point favorite, and Carolina blew them out, ran them out of the stadium. So
exactly, yeah. So I'm gonna be making some bets on the cut. I can tell you that.
Going to be putting in some bets on the cut, and people will be playing on the cut on Prize Picks everywhere. Bovada probably. I don't know.
For sure. Yeah, I just saw one of the people asking me what I said to the Florida safety. I'm still not able to mention that right now. It'll come out sooner or later. Just not today.
That will be in the book whenever the book comes out.
For sure.
Steven, obviously Florida week, I do want to you've talked about it before, but you played for Coach Spurrier, and you've talked before how this one was a really unique matchup for him. And you said that he was the same guy every week except Florida week. What did you mean by that? Just talk about how Coach Spurrier, just the emotions and sort of how he approached this game.
I mean, I don't want to say that he didn't give a shit about any other team, but that's kind of the vibe that he would sometimes give off. It's like, yeah, we're playing against Vanderbilt, but next week we got Florida. So he's like, all right, we're going to, kind of take care of Vanderbilt, and then we're on to Florida. We're kind of game planning for Florida the week of the Vanderbilt game, if that makes sense. I'm saying that in jest. I don't think he literally meant to do that, but he's a Florida guy. He coached there, won a Heisman Trophy there, won a national title there, and he got Florida in his blood because he's back there now. So, I just feel like he took that game really to heart. He took that personally. That's the only way to describe it. I feel like he was a lot more on edge during the Florida week than any other game. And that includes Clemson and really any other game.
Steven, I'll ask you this before I get you out of here, because obviously you experienced this in 2010. You guys went down there. I mean, one of the most memorable games, I think, in South Carolina football history. Take down the Gators, the one to punch the ticket to Atlanta, to the SEC championship. Is there any better feeling as a player than doing the Gator chomp in the swamp when you're kicking their ass?
Oh God, it's the best. It is absolutely the best. That was my favorite thing ever, man. Just doing it right in front of them and doing it in front of their fan base and their student section, all those little stupid ass kids. I mean, it was all the shit that they were talking. It's like, yeah, you come out on the field, man. Come on the field and tell me that right now. And then just doing that out there it was awesome. It's indescribable.
Now, one last thing, Stephen, on the note of Florida week, didn't you mention before in a podcast you got a very interesting, you either had a very interesting recruiting visit or got a very interesting recruiting letter from Urban Meyer in Florida? Is that right? Am I remember that correctly?
Yeah. It was actually during my I think it was my unofficial visit, because I went up there, a couple of times, because they were definitely one of the first schools to kind of really start heavily recruit me. And I went up there for one of the games, and we went out afterwards, up to the coach's office, and it was definitely an interesting conversation. It was weird. But after that, I was kind of like, I don't see myself in orange and blue.
Yeah, Urban's an interesting guy for sure. Steven, I appreciate you taking the time, man. It's always a pleasure. I know this one's obviously a big week, a little bit more personal this week as the Gamecocks take on the Gators, 4:00 kick on Saturday. And hey, again, it feels good to be 6-3, going back to a bowl game, and the Gamecocks are down in Tampa. That would be great. A Florida game, specifically a Tampa bowl game, would be a lot.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
I have to come invade the Roach Ranch. Might have to do it.
Yeah, let me know, man. I'm actually playing golf with Trey Burton tomorrow morning, so I'm gonna talk a little shit. He actually asked if I wanted to go to the game this weekend, so I may sneak up there. Maybe not though. Depends on what the Roach Queen has to say.
The Roach Queen, indeed. Happy Roach Queen, happy life, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Steven, it's always a pleasure, man. I appreciate you taking the time. We'll do it again next week for sure.
Absolutely, man. See y'all later.
Yeah, man. Take care.